What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Steve of All Trades channel, where today I'm going to be continuing the survival series by covering the rule of threes. These are basically standard rules that a human being can go by in average situations. So obviously if you're in the desert, or if you're in winter, or you're underwater, there's different scenarios to everything. So on average, a human could survive 3 minutes without air. So if you are submerged underwater, you have basically no area to escape out and get some oxygen, you on average can survive about 3 minutes without air. Now on top of that, you could survive 3 hours in exposure. Now what a lot of people don't understand is that means that you are in a desert with basically no clothing to protect you. You are in a rainstorm with no clothing to keep you warm. Basically, it means if you are naked, if you are soaked, if you are in an adverse scenario where you don't have a place of shelter, you don't have a place to warm up, get dry, any of that, you basically have 3 hours to live. And this really, obviously, is a general rule. If you have clothing on and you're dry and warm, you could survive for a lot longer. But on average, a human being could survive 3 hours in exposure. Now, a human being can survive 3 days without water. Water and shelter are the two most important things for survival. So if you have the ability of procuring water, there's a lot of debate on this. My stance is, if you have the ability of getting water, do what you can to filter. If you have a filter, use a filter. If you don't have a filter and you can boil it, boil it. If you have iodine tablets, use those. But if you don't have any of those, you can create, a small well on a riverbank and hope that a lot of the sediment and some of the stuff gets filtered out. You could create a makeshift shelter or a makeshift filter to try to filter out some of the stuff. But if there are pathogens in the water like Cryptosporidium or E. coli or anything like that, you're likely going to get those regardless if you're digging a well or if you're using a makeshift filter. They're just too fine, they'll get in the water and they will get into your system. But what I would say is it's more important to drink water, take the chance and get sick, than it is to not drink the water and die within 3 days of not having any water to drink. Obviously, if you're in the desert, if you're at altitude, that's going to move a lot quicker. But on average, you have 3 days without water before you perish. Now, then now you're going to have 3 weeks to survive without food on average. If you're fat and you have a lot of body weight on you, then you likely can survive for a longer period of time, because basically you're walking around with calories stored in fat on your body. So your body is going to go into ketosis and start to eat away at your body. There's people that will survive for longer. I mean, most people, if you're in a survival situation, even if you don't know what you're doing, there will be some food that you can recognize, that you can procure, and you might be able to pick at things to prolong your ability to survive. But in most scenarios, if you do not put anything in your mouth for 3 weeks, you will die in 3 weeks. So that is the rule of threes. I hope that is a pretty quick video for you guys to understand that. If you have any questions, please throw them down in the comments. Please, please, please be prepared before you go out into the wilderness, and I will see you guys next time.